What's going on, guys? We're back for the 25 Days of Disney, and today we're talking about Black Widow.
I used to have nothing. And then I got this job, this family. But nothing lasts forever.
I heard you had to leave in a hurry.
It's never easy these days.
So what are you going to do?
I've lived a lot of lives, but I'm done running from my past.
I know you're out there.
I know you know I'm out here. So we're gonna talk like grown-ups?
Is that what we are?
It's good to see you too, sis.
What brings you home?
We have unfinished business. We have to go back to where it all started.
Lucky us.
This is the very first movie solo outing that Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, will be getting that has gotten in this Marvel Cinematic Universe. For me, it took 10 years too long, but this movie is kind of weird. It's kind of fun, and it was the very first Marvel movie to come back to theaters after the theaters started showing movies again during the pandemic. It stars Florence Pugh, Scarlett Johansson, William Hurt is back in it, and it goes into detail about the origins of Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow. And we get to see where Natasha Romanoff came from. We get to see how she truly feels about her past, and we get to see how she deals with coming to terms with her past. I'm just going to go into spoilers. Starts out with young Scarlett Johansson and or young Natasha Romanoff with her sister Yelena, and their mom and dad. The mom is played by the woman. She was in The Mummy. She was in the I think the first trilogy of The Mummy, not the fourth one. And also there is a Russian super soldier, the Red Guardian. So this is back in Ohio, back in the early 90s, where Natasha is a young child and they steal something from an American spy base, and they have to get to Cuba to give this off to the Russians. And then this is where you get to see where all the training came in for Natasha Romanoff. With these Marvel movies, you don't see intros anymore. You see like maybe it has a snap cut to something that says like Thor or Black Panther or something like that. They don't really do this anymore. With this one, they do an actual opening credits montage where they're showing what the Black Widows are, because there's more than one Black Widow. So they have this actually really horrifying kind of training montage of all these girls being taken and being trained as these assassins to become ruthless, horrible killers, going into the service for the Red Room, which is the Black Widow, which is where the Black Widows come from. Natasha Romanoff is separated from her family, and they're all being trained separately. The Red Guardian ends up in jail, and the mother is still working for the Red Room. It cuts to, I believe, 2 days after Civil War. It's in between the ends of Civil War, where Iron Man and them have the end fight, and then it goes to Steve breaking them out of the raft prison. This movie takes place in between that little center. This kind of doesn't have a lot of nothing's gonna happen to Black Widow because of what happens in Infinity War and Endgame. So there's not really any sort of take from this movie that you're really going to be like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God. Like how you did in like Spider-Man and like Spider-Man Homecoming, where it's like, okay, well, this is huge for Spider-Man, or that you get in WandaVision, which is a good example because it's setting up for phase four. This is still, even though this is a phase four movie, this is still taking place in phase three, which is fine, whatever. Um, but it doesn't have the impact that it would if this came out before Endgame. But Natasha is running from the American government. She ends up in, I think, Sweden or Finland, somewhere far, far away that they can't find her. They end up finding Florence Pugh, Yelena, and there is a Black Widow operative that has been taken out of her mind control with this serum that she breaks it open on Florence Pugh, and all of a sudden she remembers that she's not this deranged killer or this mindless robot. She's a person, and she has to go to, and she tries to find, or she tries to hand off the serums to Natasha. The Red Room sends Taskmaster, which I don't know if I really like the Taskmaster in this one, because he's supposed to. It's fine that they changed the character. It's whatever. The original Taskmaster is supposed to have a little bit more of a feud with Black Widow than what they show in this movie. But Taskmaster can replicate and do the moves of Avengers, of anybody. If they can watch them and they can do the moves. You see moves from Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain America, Hawkeye, even Black Widow. So you see all these cool moves from Taskmaster, who is not the main villain, but a side villain for this movie. She has to find Red Guardian, which is he's the funniest character in this movie. He's really good in this movie. David Harbour, who has been in The Savages and The Office. He's been in Law and Order, Rainmaker, Quantum of Solace. He's been in everything. He's a really good actor. He's fun. He's probably more known for Stranger Things, but they're all talking in this Russian accent. They have to stop the Red Room. The Red Room is still alive, even though Natasha, and they show in the flashback, bombed the Red Room and supposedly killed the main guy and his daughter. We'll go into spoilers in a little bit. They end up finding the mother of them, which they're all not family, but they're all pretending to be, so they still consider each other all family. And she has this mind control thing where she can control pigs, and they're using it to control these girls. And it's a horrible scene. I actually really can't stand watching this scene. She tells a pig to stop breathing, and the pig just stops breathing. And they do it for about 2 minutes, where we're watching this pig basically suffocate himself, and it's kind of disgusting. The pig doesn't die, thank God. She ends up calling the Red Room. They take Natasha and Yelena and the Red Guardian, her, all into the Red Room, which they couldn't find. There was no base for it, and that's because it was up in the sky, up in the stars, where nobody can see it. They have this whole end fight, which is what you normally see from a end Marvel movie. They find the head leader of the Red Room, and the way that he's able to control Natasha and make sure that he doesn't get hurt from her is he has pheromones coming off of him, where through her scent she can't hurt him. So she literally just slams her head into the table and breaks her nose so that she can't smell anything. They have this huge fight, this huge battle. Taskmaster is shown to be, I think the guy's name is Dreykov. He's the main guy from the Red Room, and they go into this whole backstory about how his daughter was burned and that she's being mind controlled by him now too. All the Black Widows are eventually set free, and they all escape, and they crash the Red Room. Now, of course, I'm going quick through this quickly. Watch this movie; it's fun. There's some Easter eggs to what this is the gap between those two scenes in Civil War. So obviously, uh, Team Cap wasn't in the jail cells for that long, but they weren't in it for as short as they like to show for the movie. And they show that Yelena has this vest. This is where Black Widow gets the vest from Infinity War. This is where Black Widow decides that she's going to cut her hair and go blonde. And at the end of the movie, this is to me this is the biggest part. This is why it's a Phase 4 movie. They have an ending scene sometime, which now knowing what it is doesn't make too much sense that they put it out before Falcon and Winter Soldier, because Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to come out before Black Widow. Lady Hydra shows herself and she tells Yelena, and this ties into make sure you keep watching the Hawkeye reviews that we're doing throughout this month. Yelena is visiting Natasha's gravestone. I think she got buried in Ohio, I'm pretty sure. And Lady Hydra comes and she says, I know the man that killed your sister. And she shows her a picture of Hawkeye. That's why it's a Phase 4 movie, because it ties into the Hawkeye series. So make sure you keep watching, because Yelena could be around any other corner. They showed a preview of it this week. And it could be Yelena. So stay tuned. But that is Black Widow. Again, I didn't really explain it that well, but I gave you the gist of it. Go watch this movie. It's a great movie for the Marvel films, and it was a good way to step back into theaters to watch these Marvel films. So tell us what you thought. Stay tuned for more 25 Days of Disney. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.